I'm Ryan from Prima, and this is the Fetco Extractor Next Generation series brewer. Let's get started programming your first brew. So first thing we're going to do is turn the machine on by flipping the switch on the back right. So once this screen is done spinning, like that, we're gonna hold it down for a couple seconds and let go. And then type in our password, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're in the programming menu. So we can change brew recipes, our hot water portions, and then universal settings from here. First, let's focus on brew recipes. So I've named this brew Ryan's Brew. You can name it whatever you like. The next thing we can do is change the brew volume once we're in the parameter screen here. So 2 liters is where we have it set now. That's a great starting point for most cafes and a good maximum batch size to maintain quality. Brew time is set to 4.5 minutes. Again, that's a great starting point. You can go a little bit less or a little bit more depending on the coffee. Number of pulses, that's a variable that's unique to the Next Generation series, and that divides the 2 liters of water into basically 6 pours, or as many as you like. You can dial this up to 20 if you really wanted, but somewhere between 6 and 8 seems to be ideal. Pre-wet, that is basically pre-infusion, and we can set a percentage of 2 liters that we would like to infuse the coffee first. Have it set to 10. And then pre-wet delay is the amount of dwell time that water sits in contact with the coffee before the full infusion begins. Somewhere around 1 minute, 1 minute 10 is great. Next we have bypass in the menu. The 2030, 2040 series as well do not have the option for bypass. That is an option available only in the larger 50 and 60 series Fetcos. And that's where water is bypassing the basket to dilute a high strength brew. So don't worry about that, that button doesn't do anything. Drip delay is the last variable control here, and that's just the amount of time that the basket stays locked in place after the brew time has elapsed. And that's just a safety feature to prevent you from spilling water and coffee on yourself or on the floor, okay? So when we're done, we can either copy and paste that batch. We can paste it on this side if we want to have the same recipe on both sides of the brewer. Or I can simply hit the back button, hit exit, exit and save changes, and now my brew parameters have been saved. So the machine is going to go through its rebooting process. We'll enter the programming menu again, and we'll take a look at hot water. Okay, hot water portions are here if you want them. There is a solenoid here that, and a flow meter that can track milliliters through the spout. So you can program, say 100 milliliters here for whatever it is, some sort of tea or Americano, up to 3 volumes. And then there's also a continuous mode, very simple program. So the last menu is settings. Here we have a universal control for brew temperature. Again, just a little slider between 208 down to 170 if you like. Hot water, this menu does not function for this brewer, so no need to program it. Unit of measurement, this is just Fahrenheit and Celsius, or you can switch between gallons or liters for your brew volume, or milliliters or ounces for the faucet. The status light, you can choose the color. Right now we have it set to blue. You can choose white, you can choose green, and then there's also a brightness setting. Eco mode is kind of cool. You can set the idle time, the amount of time that the brewer hasn't been used, and then after that time is elapsed, it will drop down to a specific set temperature to save energy. Right now it's set to 3 hours and an eco tank temperature of 169. You can also set a screensaver, which would be uploaded by USB and that would appear after a certain amount of idle time. The last thing is water filter, and this lets you program the amount of water that's entering the machine to indicate when it's time to change a water filter, which is a super useful feature because it is pretty hard to track exactly how much water is passing through a filter cartridge on a given day. Okay, and that's it. Once we have the settings we want, we just hit exit, we hit save, it'll reboot and save all our settings. And that's how we program the Fetco Extractor Next Generation series brewers. For more information about this brewer, or if you have questions about programming, email us at sales@primacoffee.com. Thanks for watching.